Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to another episode of the Gathering Around the Table podcast. I am your host, Mel the Maneater.
And I'm your co-host, Lucas Leander.
And today, we're getting thankful out here.
Yeah.
'Tis the season for being thankful, and whether or not you celebrate Thanksgiving, it is the time of the year where we all reflect and take a second, reflect on the last year, reflect on our lives, hold the people that we love close, and really think about how much we're grateful and appreciative for what we have.
Grateful, give the thanks out, give them thanks.
We give them thanks.
You know, be grateful for all the 6 trillion products had us buy this year. Thankful for all the money we lost.
For all the money I spent.
All the money that is now, the paper we converted into more paper.
Right? I love that paper to paper ratio.
Great. But on a serious note,
we're going to be talking about, this is a magic, we're focusing on Magic the Gathering today. We're going to be talking about specific cards, sets, whatever, that we are thankful for in the calendar year of 2023, because we've essentially put a bow on it. There's nothing else really huge happening this year. I felt like now would be a fantastic time to talk about and reflect what we're thankful for. Not necessarily this is the best card or anything like that. We'll probably have a podcast or I'll have a YouTube video talking about, you know, the best cards or whatever, or the best decks when it comes down to the facts out of 2023. But in this podcast, I want to talk about whether it's shenanigans or not, what I'm thankful for that came out from the Magic the Gathering card game in the year of 2023.
Number 1. Vampiric Tutor. Honestly, I'm going to go through the beginning of the year to the end of the year, like how we had it set, right? You want to take this card from me? I pulled this card. It's my card. She bought me the pack, and I opened it, and it's mine.
What? Wasn't that
remastered?
Yeah, Dominaria remastered.
So at the beginning of the year, she went out. She surprised me.
I went to a pre-release event for this.
I didn't want to go. I think it was editing a video or something. And I just didn't feel like going. And she got me a pack. She was so nice to me. And all I wanted from this set, all I wanted in general, I just really wanted Vampiric Tutor. I know it's an expensive card. I wasn't going to buy this card. And opened it up. It was my first pop-off moment ever. I literally was jumping up and down. I was like, yeah!
Yeah, he lost his mind. And that was also kind of in a period of time where we were experiencing, neither of us were huge on Brothers War. We liked Mishra, and that was it.
Yeah.
Neither of us were huge on Brothers War, and then Dominaria United was kind of the last thing that I personally really, really liked. And, you know, Dominaria Remastered we weren't huge about, but there were a lot of high-value cards that were coming out with that set. And so having Vampiric Tutor was like a really big moment, and also kind of a nice reprieve from a little bit of a dry spell that we were going through with cards that we wanted, because Brothers War didn't hit for us like we wanted it to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you've pulled most of our high value cards, and it's always I buy the pack. I'm thinking about my baby. I'm thinking about how much I love, and I'm thankful for him. And then I bring it home, and he opens it, and it's Vampiric Tutor.
I get
it's doubling season.
The $20, $30 cards. It's great. But let's calm this down real quick. She should be grateful. Because these cards, I don't even put these cards in the deck. I usually just like, okay, put them in whatever deck you have. Because usually she has more use for them, and she builds the decks out a lot more than I do. So yeah, it works out.
It works out for us. He's got magic. He's got the magic touch when it comes to pulling cards, the good cards out of packs. I think the most expensive card I've pulled was like Liliana of the Veil, and at the time I pulled it, it was probably $50, and now it's dwindled down to like I think 20. Or something like that.
$12.
Or $12. Now it'd make me even more sad. Thanks. I think it's like 20 cents.
You know, I think this is a $400 card. You know?
Oh my gosh.
I think this is actually the One Rings.
Oh my god. Yeah, we bought it from Post Malone. because we have money like that, and that's why we're living in an apartment in Pullman.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about one thing that I'm thankful for. And let's see, I have so many things to pick from. It's like show and tell here today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of go, I guess, in order of like from the beginning of the year towards like more recent. The Lord of the Rings set, I'm just in general very thankful for. We're huge Lord of the Rings fans, you know.
Can we go over one thing before going over Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're skipping over all this because it was kind of a dry spell. And I feel like once we get to Lord of the Rings, there's no going back at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
So I want to give thanks because the whole war, the Phyrexian War and everything, it didn't go down, like, both story-wise and the sets, like we wanted it to. Like, Aftermath wasn't a great set. But what I am grateful for is I'm Toxic, and they brought back Infect. They switched it around, and they had the whole Toxic version of how they did things with it, and proliferating, and I just liked having more Toxic and Infect and different cards to work with when it comes to Infect. Obviously, it doesn't really stop me from getting like insta killed when people see I have Toxic going on, but like I thought it was fun. Phyrexians are like one of the cool. It's like with Warhammer. I said like. With Warhammer, the Space Marines are so iconic. They have like iconic things, and I see that Phyrexians and Phyrexia is like is magic.
We're trying to stop saying like.
We're trying to stop saying like. We're gonna start going like that every time. I'll do it lighter so it doesn't listen to my. And I really appreciate them going back and seeing all that, you know, again, all the Phyrexian stuff.
I'm appreciative and thankful for Mommy Norn.
Yes, Mommy Norn and Mommy Shelob.
Who?
Shelob, or is it Shelob? No, not Shelob, fuck.
Who's Mommy Shelob?
Alright, it's Shieldred. I was mixing up Shelob the spider from Lord of the Rings and Shieldred. Okay, you know what? Lord of the Rings.
Mommy
Lord of the Rings. Shelob. I'm appreciative for Shelob.
I was like, who are you talking about right now?
I was like, oh, I messed up. So I said it, I was like, this isn't right. This is a little bit off. It's just a little bit off.
It's a little Shelob, Shieldred. It's not very close. And it's funny because it's not like he doesn't know who Shieldred is. It's one of our most favorite cards and characters.
One of my favorite moments in all of Magic was her putting Shieldred in the graveyard and then me as Nagathra stealing that card and using it there with it. When it's her favorite card.
Any opportunity to bring that up.
That and Sun Titan. Taking those two cards.
He loves taking Shieldred and Sun Titan away from me. Specifically Shieldred Whispering one. Anyways, moving on from Mommy Norn and Shelob. I will say I do, there's a little bit of respect and almost nostalgia at this point, I feel, for Aftermath, even though it wasn't my favorite set, I guess.
Aftermath?
March of the Machine, not Aftermath.
Not Aftermath was the one that had like 2 new cards and like.
Never mind. I take it back. It was March of the Machine.
Yes.
That I have a little bit of nostalgia for because that set was the main set involved when I went to CommandFest Seattle. That was my first ever big Magic event that I had ever been to. I started going to Magic events this year, and that was the first one. I went with my friend Armand, and Armand, if you're listening, what's good, shawty? We had a blast. We just had such a good time, and that was the first time I'd ever played Plane Chase. And that was so much fun.
Gotta give it out. Plane Chase. I love Plane Chase. I feel like I don't get to play it enough. Yeah, Plane Chase is super fun.
Yeah, Plane Chase is blessed by Mommy Shelob.
Even though also I... Even though I feel... I feel like that's fine. I feel like all the matches I've played haven't been as impactful as I wanted it to be.
Okay.
That's why I want to play more. That's why I want to play more. Yeah, but yeah, Play Chase is awesome.
Man, there was I don't remember what the deck was. It was the main artifact deck that came out of March of the Machine, and I was playing a commander event, the commander event at commandfest, where, you know, they hand out all of the new commanders from March of the Machine. You pick one, you kind of fight to the death for which one you want, and then you play. And the person who had gotten the artifact deck just popped off. I had gajabillions of life or whatever from a pre-con. And we were playing Plane Chase. Everyone was so nice. It was so much fun. And because Command Fest Portland, I feel like, not Portland, sorry, Seattle, was a bit of the catalyst that started my, oh wow, I need to go to more of these events. And March of the Machine and playing with everyone and having that experience made that set so much more fun for me. Is it my favorite? No, but it added to that experience and I really felt like it was fitting. So I'm thankful for specifically that event and March of the Machine combined.
And it gave you another one of your favorite cards.
It did! It gave me Academic Manufacturer.
We have like 3 of those now.
Yeah, we have so many Academic Manufacturers. Put that in Food and Fellowship real quick. And because, yeah, I didn't actually have that card, but the person that had all that life I was talking about playing the Academic Manufacturer was inside of that deck. I almost bought that deck just for Academic Manufacturer. Because honestly, the cost difference wasn't that crazy.
It was because the deck costed like it was like it was only like $30 at like one of our LGSs, and they didn't have Academic Manufacturer. And it was like we already kind of wanted the deck, but then we were like, to spend another like $20 to $25 on a whole deck when it's like we just really want the card. We decided not to do that, but eventually.
Shout out to Wizards Keep Games in Kent, Washington.
Yes, they had the sauce.
They had the sauce. Miss you guys.
So next thing that came around the year was
Lord of the Rings.
Guys, I gotta stand up for this one. I gotta. I've been a Lord of the Rings stan. I've been a Lord of the Rings fan my whole life since I can literally remember. The movies came out when the first movie was in 1999, so when I was born. So for every bit of my whole existence,
those movies have existed.
Yes, those have been like, you know, things have come and gone throughout the years that I've been interested in. I love Star Wars, and I forgot I love Star Wars, and I love Star Wars. Like, there's lots of things that I love, and I stopped. Lord of the Rings, I watched the movies. Constant. I've watched the movies the whole trilogy 1 to 2 times every single year of my whole life. That I've been watching movies.
We should watch it over Thanksgiving break.
Exactly. See, talking about it, you immediately want to watch it. And so to see this pairing, not just to see the pairing, because it works so perfectly with magic. Like, I love Doctor Who, but it's like,
no, you look at the Rings. It is that high fantasy.
It's perfect.
It's
not high
perfect.
Fantasy, but
well, just fantasy. Yeah. Very. It just works really well with Magic the Gathering. Yes, there are a lot of different now themes inside the Magic the Gathering universe, but at its core, it's this fantasy world. You know, and I think Lord of the Rings being a universes beyond, it kind of almost didn't feel almost like a universe beyond. It felt like it could happen inside of the Magic the Gathering universe.
Like it could have been a plane or whatever.
And so I feel like we were both so excited.
Yeah, so
when that
excited.
got announced, we were like, that's what we were looking forward to the second it was announced.
That was everything. That was everything I could have wanted was that set.
It's perfect.
But not just that, living through it. Because there's a difference between like if I had gotten them into Magic like 5 years from now and I was like, oh, they're Lord of the Rings cards and decks, and let me hunt them down and buy decks and try to build like a Nazgul deck or whatever, right? But it's a different thing to like live through it, the set coming out, getting the decks, getting the cards, playing with your friends, and it's like,
wondering who's gonna pull the one ring.
Yeah, are you gonna pull the one ring? Like hoping even a normal
one.
Those are good. That's just a good card, and so there was so much to that experience. That actually felt like my second Magic experience. I feel like Kamigawa was like my first Magic experience, and this was this is like another level, another like magnitude.
And Warhammer.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, third Magic is. It's just the difference though is this is a magnitude so much greater than those other ones for me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And on that note
Yeah.
of Lord of the Rings, one of my first things I am thankful for, specifically card-wise, from Lord of the Rings, would be the Food and Fellowship pre-con with Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit, and Sam Loyal Attendant as my commanders. I knew for so long, we got this deck, we played with all the decks, loved all of the decks.
Yeah.
There was something special about every single one of them, and there were a couple decks that genuinely surprised us.
Yeah.
But focusing on these two, Food and Fellowship,
Yeah.
we've had these decks for, since they came out, and I knew there was something about, first of all, I love food.
Yeah.
But if I could be a hobbit, I would be.
Yeah.
My dream is to live in a hobbit hole and cook bread all day.
Yes.
And so there was something about the Food and Fellowship deck. I just really liked the play style when I played with it only 1 or 2 times, and then it sat and did nothing for months.
Yeah.
We also just had a lot going on in our lives immediately after Lord of the Rings came out. And then we were getting more and more back into playing, and I was just thinking to myself, I know something keeps pulling me to Food and Fellowship, even though I've only played it a few times.
Yeah.
And then recently, I've started playing the deck again.
Yeah.
And having the time of my life. It plays so much differently than my Faldorn deck, or my Sephiroth deck, or my Elf Ball deck.
Yeah.
It's so different,
Yeah.
and it's so fun. And it feels so good to have something like that that's that fun, and also and the cards are themed around a franchise that I love.
Yeah.
And I'm super, I have so much fervor for, and also that I get to play a bunch of hobbits.
Yeah.
I think that's so fun, and I get to create all this food, and it's just the perfect. It is definitely. It is still becoming a staple in my, quiver of decks that I will carry with me to. I'm going to MagicCon Chicago. This is my official video announcement.
Yeah.
I am officially going to be a creator at MagicCon Chicago in the end of February in 2024. And so I have a quiver that I'm going to be carrying with me that has all my main commander decks, and this deck will be in there because that's how much I love it. I think it's just fun. It's like, there are some decks I play that feel like,
I think that one was fine. That was fine. The second one was fine.
Oh my gosh. No, but it's true. There's so many decks that I feel like you're playing them and they're fun, but there is a level of sweatiness that even in higher casual play, because we don't play CEDH, we play just slightly more sweaty casual.
Yeah, we're like
EDH.
in a shadow realm of casual, pre-con or lower level, and then competitive. We're we are in a realm where it's just in between. It's just
CEDH decks are 9s and 10s, we're playing 6 through 8s.
Yes, that is actually, because I have some decks that are borderline competitive.
Yeah.
And I have some decks that are almost trash level. Yeah. But back to Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that deck is super fun.
It's just fun. When I'm playing, if I lose, that's okay. But this deck does really well, and there's ways to win. And so I'm very thankful for Food and Fellowship.
And I'm super thankful for the Riders Rohan deck. That deck has
so
never
good.
lost.
It's so good.
I don't know if we've even upgraded the deck.
We haven't.
And somehow, at least however we're playing it, it destroys, even against actually pretty strong decks. It has won every single time, which is honestly pretty surprising.
We didn't think that's one of the decks that I mentioned before. There were some decks we knew were going to be really good, and some decks that shocked us that came from the Lord of the Rings set. And the Riders of Rohan deck was one that shocked us.
Well, it was one of those things where I really wanted the Sauron deck to be powerful and to be fun. I ended up not really liking the Sauron deck and the Elf / Gandalf deck.
Those ones were just a little. Mechanics were. It wasn't for us.
It was just it felt like you had to jump through a lot of hoops that
to
just
get your
slowed down your
turn.
gameplay
Yeah.
that the other two decks didn't have.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I really appreciate those two decks, and just in general, just all of the beautiful art, all the different like cards. Yeah, I'm really messing up, guys. Really messing
Eventually, we're gonna get buttons and
Yeah.
not just decks. And whenever one of us says like in a context that doesn't make sense, we're hitting the button.
Yeah, we're hitting the button. And so I really want to make a Nazgul deck. I think that would be awesome. I think that deck would be just super fun to play, and it's one of the first decks that I feel like the theme of it. The theme of it is what's motivating
It's powerful.
me. You know, because usually it's the mechanics, right? It's like it's I want to make 1 billion spirits, or I want to make Nurgle, or not I want to make
Nurgle.
I want to make Thrun like hit you for 100 commander damage.
Yeah.
Like some mechanical thing that's like really fun. But with that, it's pure theming. Like I'm so messed up.
Maybe we need to stop doing this. It's like throwing us.
No. We have to.
We must
it will
press
train
on.
the brain to stop. That my grandma, for a while there, I would say like so much. And every single time she would say, "You said it," in the middle of what I say. And that day, it was one day of my whole life. I was like genuinely mad at my grandma because I was like, just I just want to say what I'm saying. But it made me better for that period of time. It's gotten worse over time.
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying, that's basically what I'm getting at. The theming is awesome of Lord of the Rings. Boom. That's my whole thought.
Okay, so moving on from Lord of the Rings, because really we could talk about Lord of the Rings for an entire multitudes of podcasts.
Yeah, we'll also say, we're appreciative for the holiday release. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just get that over with. Boom.
Yeah, the holiday release is going to be great.
Yeah.
Will I be buying any cards from it? I don't know, mostly because it's a lot of money.
Honestly, like, I might ask for a collector booster or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just that you open one thing, I think that'd be cool. But
Yeah. Okay, so after Lord of the Rings, it was Commander Masters, and I think there isn't much I'm thankful from Commander Masters, only because
we don't got
that
money like
set was so expensive.
Yeah.
It was so expensive.
Yeah.
But the cards in those decks were straight heat.
Yeah.
And as someone whose favorite format is Commander, I have to say it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I do feel like it was a big a little bit of a money grab from the Commander community.
100%. 100% a huge money grab, even though it is great to get reprints. Especially for the precons. You know, the precons added more value than ever.
Yeah.
When it comes to reprints and stuff like that. But it wasn't what it should have been. They were super expensive. They were like
really
$100.
expensive.
You know, most precons, when it first comes out, it's like $35, $40. And then if it's a really sought after one, it'll immediately
go up to like 70.
It'll go up to like $60, $70. And then over time it'll go back down, and then when
ones, every single one was $80 or more.
Yeah,
and
I saw some for 100, 120.
Well, no, I think the most expensive one was like $135.
Yeah, the Eldrazi one was so expensive.
Yeah, the Eldrazi and the Sliver Storm.
But we're not here to complain.
We're not here to complain.
We're here to be
thankful.
grateful.
We're grateful and appreciative.
And all that stuff.
Going back to what I was saying about, I'm appreciative for those decks only because, money aside.
Yeah.
I'm appreciative because I feel like they were trying to capture the essence of Commander and put it into decks with these great magic theme with Eldrazi.
Oh, yeah.
With Slivers.
Colorless Eldrazi deck. I was signed up, you know,
Planeswalker party.
A Planeswalker deck. I'm in. I'm in. You know.
And then the enchantments deck just looks so fun.
I'm getting that deck.
We've almost bought that deck so many times.
Well, we found it on sale for $40. It was just the money wasn't there.
Yeah, the money in the bank account was not there.
Not there for that.
And so anyway, I'm appreciative for those decks in the sense that I like that they exist, but was not appreciative for the money aspect of it. Moving on from Commander Masters, we enter quite possibly this set might have meant I go back and forth on which set I was most excited for. Lord of the Rings or Doctor Who?
You skipped over a whole set.
Which set?
Wilds of Eldraine.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I don't know why.
I was so hyped up when you were saying this. I was like, yeah.
Why?
One of the best like original sets of the whole year. One of the best sets, period, in a while. It was so fun. Blah, blah, blah.
Doctor Who.
What?
No,
You're
no,
just going to skip over? I'm not going to let you skip over. This is like the best thing that happened this year for me.
For whatever reason in my head, Wilds of Eldraine was after Doctor Who, but that is so far. Time is a construct. Anyways, We'll do Doctor Who later. Wilds of Eldraine. That was the set that was featured at MagicCon Vegas, which was my first ever MagicCon, which was fantastic. I met so many amazing Magic the Gathering creators there. I'm thankful for pretty much all of the Magic creators I met there and how like nice they were to me and just how accepting everyone in that community was. And MC Vegas was such a great experience. And Wilds of Eldraine is just a kick-ass set. That was the first time, yes, I was excited for Lord of the Rings. I was excited for Doctor Who. All universes beyond. Wilds of Eldraine was the first Magic the Gathering set that I was genuinely so hyped for because of the high fantasy, mystical vibe, and I'm just so big on that kind of theming, and I think that was probably the set I've ever been the most excited for. That was in the Magic the Gathering universe. Dominaria United I was super pumped for, but this one I think honestly takes the cake.
I think for me I can't put Kamigawa any lower than anything else. But,
and that's fair.
But you know, this is what I'm going to say. One of my favorite games of all time. It's called Fable. So you can probably guess what I thought about a set based off like fairy tales and fables. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The art, especially on the enchantments, the art was so good. It was so good. I just really loved the art from the set, but there was one thing that I went over everything, and I have a small story. I'm going to condense it down because I don't want this podcast to be too long. We went to what's it called, Portland? commandfest Portland, you know. I was working there because I used to work at a card shop, and I was there selling cards and stuff, right? And she was over doing her creator things, being a cool creator. And then she comes over and she's like, "Oh, you have all these like tickets to get like, you know, free
from the prize wall.
To get free prize wall stuff." And so she said, "You should get that commander you're kind of thinking about getting." And I was like, I actually don't really know that much about that commander. I don't know if I want it. You know, it's green-white. I was slowly learning I love white. But I was like, green-white? It doesn't seem like that good of a combo of colors. Like green-reds, or red-white's really good. And so, but you convinced me. And I remember buying it, being instantly disappointed and be like, no, I should have just gotten...
He was like, I should have got a collector booster. I should have gotten something like that.
We were pulling some good, expensive cards. And so, I was so disappointed. She flies back to Pullman. I'm sitting in the airport waiting for my parents to pick me up. I was going to go home for a little while. And I started reading or watching like an upgrade guide and just reading through the cards in this deck. And I was like, hold up. This deck seems a little nuts. Like, obviously, bare bones with it being a pre-con, but once you upgrade it, this could be pretty nuts. And so then I upgraded it. I added in all the stuff. Our friend came over and visited us.
Yeah.
And I played with it for the first time. I had two huge revelations, the biggest revelations of the year. Number one, white is my favorite color of Magic. white's my favorite color. And 2, I am an enchantress player. I love this deck was so fun. And immediately, one play, it became my second favorite deck. Just the synergy of all the enchantments.
Yeah.
You're placing that all your creatures, they're like so weak, and next thing you know, it's like they're becoming Goku. They're getting Kaioken's, they're getting Super Saiyans, they're getting all these enchantments, and it was so cool to see all these characters become so strong.
Yeah.
And so it was just huge for me, you know? So that's what makes me excited about that enchantment deck. I'm super excited to explore white more, and make some white decks. And yeah, it was just a big revelation in growing as a Magic player.
Yeah. No, I think, playing that game, I could see him more and more being like, this is the best deck I've ever played, aside from Nagathrod, and I think it's my second favorite deck of all time, instantly.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, but enchantments are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Unless
Especially
you have a lot of, there were so many.
So many. How are you going to deal with that many enchantments?
And on the same note of Wilds of Eldraine, I have a couple cards that I'm appreciative.
Oh, let me see it.
I'm actually appreciative and grateful for the other precon that came with Wilds of Eldraine. There were only 2, and it was this enchantments deck, and also I want to say it was the Fairy Dominion. I think it's what it was called. The Fairy Dominion precon. And there was, I think Tywin is the main commander, but the alternate commander in that deck, Alayla Cunning Conqueror, is become instantly one of my favorite decks I've ever played with. Yeah. And it's just, it feels so zippy. Yeah. I'm not the biggest blue player, but I really like how blue shines in this deck. And it's a blue-black deck.
Blue-black's always
I think it's so fun.
Favorite color combo, blue-black.
And it's interesting. I've never thought I would be one to enjoy playing a deck that goads things. I never really liked the goading mechanic that much. And the goading mechanic in it is really cool, but I really just love I'm playing instants on other people's turns, but it's not to bounce their stuff. It's for me to create more fairy creature tokens.
Yeah.
And I think it kept me more, because when you play a deck that involves blue or involves instants and stuff, and it's heavy, like, the point is you're playing a lot of creatures with flash.
Yeah.
And I feel as though it made me more involved and more paying attention to everybody's turns. Okay. Because sometimes when you're playing a game Commander, you play a couple of them in a row, you can start to get a little glaze over your eyes. And I really feel like playing this deck just really kept me in it. And actually, Alayla Cunning Conqueror is my inspiration for my first Magic the Gathering cosplay that I want to do at MagicCon Chicago. I did cosplay the 11th and 10th Doctors from Doctor Who at commandfest Portland, but that was the universe beyond, and I'm just a big Doctor Who fan, so it was less of a Magic thing and more of I'm a simp for Doctor Who thing.
Yeah.
So that is another card of this year that I am and just deck in general, that I am very appreciative for and very grateful for, and I can't wait to upgrade it more.
Yeah.
And another, a big card that we're both thankful for from Wilds of Eldraine. This was another, I went to
Give me this card. I pulled this card. Yes, I pulled this. You gonna hold it? I pulled it from your hand. The doubling season. Doubling season. And baby.
Don't bend
it. It's extended art, foil, alternate art. Ooh, so shiny.
So we got the anime art. We got the anime full art foil doubling season, not the confetti foil. But that, oh my man, that would have been so cool. But what happened was, so I went to MagicCon Vegas, I went there as a creator, but I was not an advertised creator. I did not get a creator badge. And I went there and I bought like the normal pass, and with that, I think I got the VIP pass, and with that pass, you got a certain amount of draft boosters, or I think it was either draft or set boosters. And because, again, in my head, I was thinking, I love my baby so much, and I've been opening so many cards here, and he is so amazing. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to wait. I think I saved all 6 draft booster packs that I had gotten with my badge.
Yeah.
And I flew home, and I was like, baby, I got all these packs. Let's open them. We're in our bed. We're winding down for the night, opening this pack. He opens a pack and screams. Literally screams. I was like, what did you pull? And it was the alternate anime art, full art foil doubling season.
Woo!
And we were like, put that in a sleeve immediately.
Man, I was so happy.
And now she lives in either my elf deck or my food and fellowship deck, because I'm the one that plays mostly green.
Unless Tyranid Swarm. Tyranid Swarm.
I'm not putting this in your stinky Tyranid
Yeah, it's
Swarm
going to the Tyranid Swarm.
So very appreciative for this card, because I feel like we've had a lot of great polls, but this was one of the first polls that I feel like, I posted about it on Twitter, and people were like, oh my god, I cannot believe you got that card. And so it feels good.
It feels good. And moving on from Wilds of Eldraine, Doctor Who, you are super excited for. I think I'll quickly, because I'll just wrap up my thoughts real quick. I was super excited. It kind of brought me back into Doctor Who for a little while.
Because you used to watch Doctor Who.
I used to love Doctor Who. I think it was the, 12th Doctor?
No, he was a really big fan of the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith.
Oh, man, that dude was amazing. Great. And so I really appreciate the Dalek deck. That deck goes burr.
That deck genuinely goes burr.
I really appreciate that deck, but I think someone who appreciates the set, or the decks in the set way more than me, is my baby.
I am a humongous Doctor Who fan, and I went to CommandFest Portland. The featured the set just released during CommandFest Portland, and I'm around playing with all these people. CommandFest Portland was actually the first event that I was an advertised creator there for. I was there with the Birds of Paradise, who is a group that promotes diversity and inclusion in the Magic the Gathering space in a very real way, and I absolutely love them, and I love working with them. All of the birds are amazing. And it was so much fun, and it was the first time I'd cosplayed in a while. So many people loved my 10th and 11th Doctor cosplays. It was such a good time, and the cards were all so much fun. I loved pulling cards from that set.
Yeah.
And the only cards you could pull, though, were from collector boosters, so it was a little expensive. But, we ended up getting all 4 of the commander decks from that set, which were the one that featured the 13th Doctor, which was kind of a exile deck, the one that featured the Revival series Doctor Who series, which is, the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th Doctors, or maybe it just goes through, I don't remember. Either way, fantastic deck. And then there was the retro original Doctor Who deck that featured Doctors 1 through 8.
Yeah.
And that one was a whole lot of fun. And then, of course, there was the Dalek deck, which was that one it was so fun.
Yeah.
And there were some really interesting mechanics that came with it that were also a little bit confusing. But like the time travel mechanic, but I do think they're really interesting mechanics and fun to play once you understand them. And my favorite part about that whole set was just the flavor text, the art, everything hit so hard. Gavin, I'm gonna butcher his last Verney, thank you. Was the lead director of this was lead designer for this set, and he just killed it. And I've expressed my gratitude to him multiple times because it hit.
This is another thing to be grateful for, that we went to the Portland Command Fest and you got to meet him. You got to meet a lot of creators.
Yes. And hold on, keep the crowd entertained. I need to go grab something.
Oh, she's gonna grab the big boy.
The big boy.
Yeah, she got to meet Gavin, which for me, I was like, dang, this is crazy, because I'd obviously seen him. I've seen him play with game nights. I'd seen all the stuff he'd worked on. Obviously, it was big for me, for her to meet him. Yeah, that was really cool. Oh, she has it. The Doctor. the big card doctor.
Okay. We will insert a picture of me holding this thing at CommandFest Portland somewhere in this video.
Show him the card.
I'm grateful for this. This beautiful... I'm trying to like find out hold it here. This beautiful metal-plated golden Magic the Gathering card that was gifted to me by the staff at Laughing Dragon, who were the people who put together the CommandFest events, or CommandFest Portland, and were so amazing. I cosplayed the 10th Doctor, and I had my eyes on this card the whole time I was there. And at the end of the event, they were so amazing. They gave me and a few other creators these gold-plated metal cards, and they gave me this one specifically, though, because I cosplayed the 10th Doctor, and the 10th Doctor, I love Matt Smith, and I love David Tennant, but I think David Tennant, it's like a personal, I loved him as the Doctor. Yeah. And I really enjoyed him, and this is my first ever big card. And I feel like, on a more personal level, it's a very, very silly bar to have, but I always told myself, I feel like I was really doing it as a creator as when I got a big card, because everyone's got these big cards, and I'm not good enough at Magic to get a big card through winning an event. At least not right now. Yeah. And so the fact that they really loved the work I did at CommandFest Portland and were so sweet and gave me this card made me feel like I did it. Yeah. Like, I've been working my butt off. We've both been working our butt off on my channel, and I got the big card to show for it. And eventually, I'm going to get a little display thing, and it's going to sit somewhere right here. No.
There's one.
Right there. It'll sit somewhere on the table or somewhere behind us. So that is another thing I'm very, very, very grateful for.
And I think that's everything, and that leads up until now, which is Ixilan. Hopefully we'll have an Ixilan episode out soon that is about
It's been a very, very busy few weeks for us, though.
Yeah, that's about the commander, the decks, and we got 2 of them.
Merfolk and the dinosaurs.
Dinosaur one. So we're going to give you our opinions. We're going to upgrade them and kind of give our opinions on how they play, and then just go over the deck list for the other one. So that will eventually be coming out. But I am very appreciative for Ixilan because, first thing, dinosaurs.
Who doesn't love dinosaurs?
You know, obviously there's been dinosaurs in Magic for a while, but coming into it, dinosaurs are one of the dinosaurs, dragons. There's certain things that are just cool, period, end of story.
Yes.
And so, you know, one of my favorite factions in Warhammer is literally lizard men. You know, so anything related to dinosaurs is awesome. And having this new set, and the art's so good, it has this Aztec dinosaur vibe that is mixed together. That Aztecs and dinosaurs in any medium, for some reason, always works. Probably because dinosaurs were around when it was like all jungly and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it just works so perfectly. And I appreciate Merfolk. They're back, guys. They're back. The Merfolk are representing. They're strong now. They've been taking roids. They're doing good. They buff each other. Power of friendship. It's great.
Power of friendship.
So like Merfolk, dinosaurs. We got the fungus. The fungi are back.
I love
the fun guys are back. You know, they're having a good time.
That's what the fun guys do.
So, just this set in general, it's another banger. Another banger.
Yeah,
Back-to-back bangers.
I think I've really been looking forward to the set. I think that Wiles of Eldraine and this set were 2 pretty heavy hitters this year, and I'm really looking forward to. We don't really have a great pod out here where we live yet, and so, but we are going home for Thanksgiving, and where we do have a pod, and I cannot wait to test out the Merfolk and the dinosaur deck. I'm so excited. I'm really interested in playing both of them, and like we said, we will eventually have a video or podcast out, kind of talking about what our opinions are about the Commander deck, and possibly upgrade guides if I feel passionately enough about it, which I feel like I probably will.
So just super grateful for this year, kind of the second half of the year, really holding it together for us on the Magic side of things. You know, really not just bringing it back from the first half, but like making it strong and impactful.
Really strong.
Like, if the dinosaur deck and the Walls of Drain have been the only major sets besides Lord of the Rings and Doctor Who to come out, I would have been happy this year.
Me too.
That alone, I would have been not just happy, I would have been ecstatic this year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how strong those two sets have been.
And speaking of Ixalan, I'm grateful for our card of the day.
Ah!
Our card, and this is a bit we do on all of our podcasts now, and it's the magic card of the day. And today's magic card of the day is Roaming Throne, which is we got the alternate borderless or full art. I don't remember. Is this borderless or full art? I think it's full art. It goes all the way to the bottom of the thing.
It's full art. Right.
The alternate full art of Roaming Throne, which is also another good magic card that we pulled from a collector booster that we didn't know was a good card until we were reading it and seeing it other places.
Let's explain what the card does.
So, Roaming Throne is an artifact creature golem with Ward 2, which is always great. And it reads as Roaming Throne enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Roaming Throne is the chosen type in addition to its other types. If a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time. This, in any creature deck, creature-heavy deck, dinosaurs, merfolk, elves...
Wait.
You're not allowed to put that in Tyranids.
Not Tyranids. Would this work with Nagathron?
Oh, making it a horror?
No. Yeah, make it a horror. Can you take two creatures at your end step?
Possibly, yeah.
Guys, we're gonna need the rules committee to come out. I'm about to flip this table over. Holy moly. That's a way to get me excited to bring up the Nagathron.
Oh no, there's a little thing on it.
And we're never selling this card.
No, it's okay. But I still want it to look pretty.
Yeah.
Anyways. Good, very, very good card. And because it's an artifact, it can go in any creature deck you want. And I think this is so much value. So much value in this one card.
Guys, it's a 4 cost. You get a 4/4. It has Ward 2, so if someone's like, I'm going to exile it, pay.
Then you'd be like, are you going to pay the 2?
You're going to pay 2 extra, slow them down a little bit, get them to stop. You get to choose the creature type, so it isn't like, all golems creatures, okay? It makes it super specific. Nope. Elves, horrors, merfolk, dinosaurs.
Fungus.
It's so freaking versatile.
Yeah. I think this is a really good card. We're gonna need more copies. We're gonna need a lot more copies of this guy. So that is the magic card of the day that we are thankful for. And finally, we would like to say that we are very thankful for all of you watching. And I'm thankful for this entire community and for how much you have supported me in my Magic the Gathering creator journey and for how much support you've shown. And also thankful for the people who just play the game and make it fun and just want to have a good time. Yeah, I'm thankful for this game.
The art, all the artists out there, and the game designers that designed these awesome cards, Yeah.
I would name some, but I don't know any artists' name off the top of my head.
No.
And so, thankful for all the artists, everyone who makes Magic the Gathering possible, the people who really make Magic the Gathering possible, like you were saying, the game designers, the people who do the art, all that stuff. Yeah. You're all amazing. Thankful for everyone who plays the game. I'm extremely thankful for all of the Magic the Gathering creators who have become my acquaintances and some very close friends. And, baby, I'm thankful for you.
Woo! I'm filled with gratefulness now. Woo!
Say it back.
I was about to make a joke.
Say it back.
I'm grateful for you too, man. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you work so hard, and of course all the other things like just being a wonderful wife and the best person I can ever be with. But when it pertains to Magic, I'm grateful that you got me into Magic because guys, there was no way in hell I was gonna get into Magic if it wasn't for her, because I was like, video game supremacy, video game for life.
No. I brought up that I wanted to get into Magic, and he was like, why would I play a card game when I have God of War?
I have to take turns. Like.
And so the fact that it just started from me saying I want to start, really it started with our friend Armand telling me he wanted to get into Magic, and he wanted someone to get into it with, and I was like, okay, I'll start playing Magic, and then from that I was like, baby, you should get into Magic with me.
And I was like, I'll support.
Yeah, he was very like, I'll support it. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it.
Guys, I'm so grateful for the game and all you guys and everything, because there are a lot of things. You guys don't know her like I know her. She gets into a lot of different things, and there are a lot of things that, they here,
come and they go.
They're here, they're gone, right? And I was like, I'll get into it, but it's probably one of those things that's gonna go and leave, And
here we are, 2 years later.
Here we are. No word. It's gonna be around for as long as ever.
as long as ever. So. To all of you listening, thank you so much, and we appreciate you, and I would be extra grateful if you subscribe to the Mel the Maneater YouTube channel, if you enjoyed this podcast or any of the other YouTube videos that I make, and I would be extra grateful if you checked out my husband's YouTube channel at the Lucas Leander.
Yes, look up Lucas Leander. I make videos on gaming and on Warhammer. Yeah, I would be very grateful. I'm almost at 200 subscribers.
We'll put his link, the link to his YouTube channel, in the comments section, or not the comment section, the description down below.
Guys, subscribe. We appreciate you guys.
Go, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, 'tis the season to be grateful. Go kiss your kids, kiss your wife, kiss your husband, kiss your aunt, kiss your dog. Maybe don't kiss your dog, at least not on the mouth. Kiss your cat, or don't, because they might scratch you in the face. Give everybody a kiss. If they consent to it. Give them a hug. Everyone's appreciative. Eat some pumpkin pie. Have a turkey. Eat some stuffing.